All right, cool. So welcome to tonight's team call. It is Wednesday, October 18th. I am really excited to share a couple really quick tips that will help you to keep not only keep focused on your goals when things maybe get a little tough, but just to keep focused on your goals in general, and also to help keep things simple. Okay, it's super easy to complicate this business and overwhelm yourself with all the different things that we can do, right? So tonight we're going to cover, I think I have four tips. The first one is limiting beliefs. Tip number 2 is setting business hours. Number 3 is taking action on your health and fitness. And number 4 is write out your goals daily and practice daily discipline. So with number 1, I want you to think about, and you can do this right now or you can do this after the call. Write down the things that you keep telling yourself. What are some of the negative thoughts that you have in your head? So I made a list of just a couple that you might resonate with and you might not. But I'm not patient. I'm not worthy. I can't be a leader. I suck at food. I hate working out. Like, what are the same things that you keep telling yourself that maybe you don't realize are holding you back, but are definitely a part of your belief system that will hold you back unintentionally and not something that you're thinking about? If you're constantly telling yourself, I can't ever keep on track, I can't ever be consistent, I can't get out of bed, I'm not a morning person. If you keep telling yourself all of those things, guess what? That's the person that you're going to become. That is going to become your reality, and that's who you're going to be. So what I want for you to do is those things that you keep telling yourself over and over and over again, because we all have those certain things that pop up in our mind that hold us back and that we think about, right? We all have self-doubt from time to time. I want you to write down what those items look like or what you're saying to yourself. And then I want you to rewrite it, okay? Rewrite it in the positive sense. I am patient. I am getting on track with my nutrition and fitness, one choice at a time. I am a morning person. I enjoy waking up in the morning and starting my day and getting goals accomplished, okay? Rewrite them and then read them, okay? Read them in the morning, read them in the afternoon, and read them before you go to bed. The 2 most important is reading it first thing when you wake up to empower your mind to start your day. And the second one is right before you go to bed. One that I really struggle with lately especially is getting up in the morning. It's just been harder with it being cooler out and with it being darker. And it's just really tempting to snuggle in with Riley and hit the snooze button. And I haven't been sleeping very good. So something I'm working on to overcome that is to tell myself before I go to sleep, I am well rested. I'm excited to wake up when my alarm goes off and to start my day. Okay? So it's just something to help empower you and get moving and get started for your moving towards your goals. Okay? Rather than the same sad song of maybe what you're lacking or what you're currently struggling with. Remember, where focus goes, energy flows. So if we start focusing on the things that we do want and empowering our thoughts to focus on that, we're going to move towards that. We're going to see more of the positive things start to come back to us rather than maybe what we're currently struggling with, okay? So write down the limiting beliefs and then rewrite them in the positive opposite, okay? And then you're going to read them twice a day at least and start speaking your future into your reality, okay? Start believing that. Start reprogramming your mind, because you guys, we have control of our conscious mind, right? Like when you start thinking something, you can go, knock it off. Like, why are you thinking that? Stop. But we don't really have control over our subconscious. And our subconscious handles so much more than what we realize. That's what keeps us alive. But that's also what drives our actions, okay? So without knowing it, those thoughts that you have consciously from time to time, your mind's already programmed to think that all the time. So we need to reprogram your mind to think the positive. Hi, baby. You have a good practice. Mm-hmm. Go get ready for bed. He's just getting home from hockey. Okay, so what I wanted to share with you, and I've done this on a call before, and Dana, you maybe have not seen this because I haven't done this for a while, but I want you to take your two hands and you put like where your palms match, and you do this. And you can see that if I put they're aligned at the bottom, but my one hand is longer than the other, right? Are yours exactly the same, or is one a little bit longer? Maybe just a smidgen? Okay, well mine, like if you see my right finger is longer than my left, okay? So I'm gonna look at my hand and I'm gonna tell it to grow 10 times. Grow, 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 grow. I lost count, I think that was 10. Now I'm going to do it, and they're exactly the same. Weird, I know. Weird, I know. Because the first time I did it, I was like, there's no way. It's crazy. But where our focus goes, energy flows. So if we didn't tell our hand to grow, if we didn't empower, it's not going to do anything. It's going to continue to lack. Are you like totally, you're like, that's crazy. I know, it's crazy. But when you start to pour your focus and your energy into something, it's like everything becomes, when we focus on all the negatives and the lacking, then that's what we see more of, right? We see more negative in our life. If we choose to focus on the negative, then we have more negative surrounding us. But when we put things out into the universe and we focus on more of the positive and the things coming back to us, then that's what we see more of. We start to see more light around us. We start to see more positivity, okay? So make sure you're putting your focus in those empowering beliefs that are the opposite of the limiting belief, okay? Tip number 2 is to be sure that you're setting business hours. And this is so important because setting our business hours is what keeps the structure. It keeps us disciplined and it keeps us showing up. It's so easy to, especially if you're a stay-at-home mom or a stay-at-home parent or whatever, that the dishes need done, or laundry needs done, or I need to vacuum, or I need to pick up dog poop, or whatever it is, or I need to do laundry, or whatever. Like there's 10 million things constantly being thrown at you, right? Or if you're a working parent, you're like, oh, I just worked all day. I don't want to work more, right? It becomes a struggle. But when you set your business hours, your non-negotiables, it's going to make you show up. You have to show up consistently. And if we want this to grow like a business, we have to treat it like a business, right? We have to show up just like we would if we were going to work, or the only difference is that there's nobody to fire us. Like this is your business. So Dana, if you didn't show up, I'm not going to say, well, you're not showing up, Dana, so you're no longer a part of the team. No, your business is just not going to grow, and you're not going to benefit from that, right? So we have to make sure that we set business hours to create structure for ourselves. And that can be very challenging as your own business owner, because you can put it off and say, well, I'll get to it later. I got to do this. I'll get to it later. And before you know it, you haven't worked your business for a day, 2 days, a week, 2 weeks. And then you feel really overwhelmed. So it's so important to sit down and create that structure. When works best for you and your schedule and making those business hours. Make sure it's quiet, focused time, right? That you're not being distracted by, the kids running through the house or somebody calling on your phone. You have to try and eliminate as many distractions as possible. Not allowing Messenger to keep dinging and distract you when you're trying to invite, and then you get distracted by another message that somebody responded. Okay, make sure it's quiet and focused time. Write your business hours down, especially if you're new and you're trying to create that structure. And it might vary. There might be days that you work in the morning, and then there might be days that you work in the evening, and that's okay. Nobody says that it has to be one way all the time, but you have to say what it is and when it's going to happen. okay? Then also discuss with your family. So a lot of us are married and have families. Some of us are single and don't have families, but we maybe have a roommate or whatever. We have to sit down and let other people that we're living with know, okay, these are my non-negotiable hours. Or asking our spouse, could you please help me with the kids during this hour? I'm going to sit down and work. Or after I get the kids to bed, I will spend time with you, but first I'm going to work my business for 1 hour. But then making sure that you're done when that hour is up. Okay, if they're honoring your quiet focus time, that you're then unplugging and honoring being a part of the family again. Okay? And take action. Don't just write it out. Don't just say, I'm going to show up and work my business, or I'm going to wake up and do the power hour, or I'm going to do a power hour in the evening, or I'm going to do a power hour on my lunch. It doesn't work unless you do it. Okay, just saying it or just writing it out is not enough to make things happen. You have to take action on that time that you set. Tip number 3 is take action on your health and fitness. So this is really pretty simple. But the reality is that when we fall off track as a coach, it's not that we suck at life and that we're a horrible coach. It's that we don't feel good about it, right? We don't feel good about falling off track. So then we don't feel good about posting because we're not doing very good. And then we don't feel genuine inviting because we're not doing it ourselves. So how can we ask somebody else to do it if we're not doing it ourselves, right? It kind of becomes this vicious cycle. So keeping focused on your own nutrition and fitness goals has to be number 1. That has to be number 1, outside of working on your limiting beliefs and personal development, because when you're on with yourself, it feels good to share that you're on, right? It feels good to share your meals when you're trying something new and you found a really good recipe that everybody likes, or it feels good when you accomplished a workout that you really didn't think that you could make it through, or maybe you were able to do more reps. It feels good because you're on a high, because you're working towards your goals and you're taking those small steps, and you feel what? You feel empowered. You're happy. You know that you're making progress, so it feels good. Then what happens? It's easier to share your story on social media because it's fun and you know that you're doing good. And it's genuine to invite people to join you because you're enjoying it so much that you want to empower other people to feel just as good as you are. So making sure that you are taking care of yourself is first. Okay. And if you ever find yourself struggling in the business or struggling to work towards any sort of goal, dive back into a program. I don't care what the program is. Pick a program and stick to it from day 1 to day 21. I don't care if you follow the nutrition perfectly. I don't care if you kill every workout, but you are going to show up and you are going to do your best, and you are going to share that. You are going to keep accountable, and you are going to say, look, I slipped up a little bit today. My workout today, I pushed play, but I really didn't give it up my all. Who cares? The fact of the matter that you showed up and you're taking those steps forward is not only helping you to create new habits, but you're showing discipline, okay? And it's only going to get easier the more consistent you are and the more discipline that you create within your journey. Not everybody loves working out, right? Not everybody does. Most people don't. I didn't love working out when I first started. I love it now. There's some days I don't feel great about it, because I'm human and I'm tired and I would rather just sit on the couch and kind of veg out for a little bit. But it's that discipline that I've created from showing up every day, right? From continuing to dive in. And if you're not currently following a program one after another and you find that you slip off from time to time, I encourage you to, when you're in the last week of whatever program you're in, pick another program. Know what you're moving into next, okay? Because that keeps you focused. It keeps you engaged, and it gives you something to look forward to and to focus your energy in, okay? So always make sure that you're diving into a program and that you're taking care of you. When you keep focused on your own journey, the rest will fall into place. I kind of touched on that, just worded a little different. And then keep it simple, push play, be mindful of food, and share your journey. It's not about being perfect, right? It's never about being perfect. It's just about moving forward and working towards your goals. And then the last one is write out your goals daily and practice daily discipline. So what are you working for, right? You have to sit down. All of us have to sit down at some point and evaluate what we're working towards. And you can make that this huge, huge goal. Like I have on my vision board, which is right there, hanging in my office, so I see it all the time. I have some really big goals on that. Really big goals that are really far away from me right now. And that's okay. I'm not shooting for that goal right now, right? I'm shooting for a smaller, obtainable goal that I know that I can reach by the end of the year. So what we need to do is really focus on what is our goal and what are we working towards, and then reverse engineer that. What does that look like? What steps do we have to choose to take every day to reach that goal? We have to create that roadmap, right? So if we're working towards Emerald, we have to be sharing the coaching opportunity, right? If we're not sharing the coaching opportunity at all, ever, that's probably not going to happen, right? I mean, that's just the reality of it. It's a very slim chance that somebody's going to reach out to you and say, hey, I want to be a coach on your team. Because one, they probably don't know what coaching is. And two, that just doesn't happen. Okay? It would be nice if it did and they were cool people that you want to work with, but that just doesn't happen. So if we're working towards Emerald, we need to take action to share the coaching opportunity with 5 people a week, 5 to 10 people a week. And that will happen. But we see how you have to break it down. So that would be 1 person a day. If you were sharing the coaching opportunity, it'd be inviting 1 person a day. Okay? If you want to work towards Success Club 10, you're going to have to invite more than 3 people a day to a challenge group or to the coaching opportunity. It's going to have to look like more to 5 to 10. With that said, we also have to be tracking what we're doing daily and how many invites we're putting out daily in order to see, okay, last month I sent out 30 invites to a challenge group and I did not reach Success Club 5. So what does that tell us? We need to increase our numbers, right? So having a roadmap and understanding what your goals look like and what they need to look like to obtain your goal. If you're wanting to reach Success Club 10 or higher and you're pushing for Diamond, you're certainly going to have to invite more than 5 people a week to the coaching opportunity because that's a bigger goal, right? So you're going to have to talk to more people. So if you personally have some goals in mind, but you're just not sure what your roadmap should look like or where you lay within that, let's get on a call and together we can figure that out. But you also have to be tracking because if you don't know what you're doing, I'm not going to know what you're doing either, right? So I can't help you to kind of evaluate what daily actions you need to take to create that roadmap to hit your goal. Okay, does that make sense? So I think, let me look at my notes. Reverse engineering your big goals to create small obtainable goals. It's just like in your nutrition and fitness, right? You don't automatically lose 20 pounds, but every day that you make the choice to choose healthier foods and keep your portions under control, you're going to reach that 20-pound loss, right? It's going to start with 1 to 2 pounds a week, and then it's going to add up over time. And then just practice showing up each day. It's not motivation, it's discipline. That has been like my biggest thing lately because it is. And I'm not perfect. I don't claim to be perfect. Dana, you know I slept in this morning. I just didn't have it in me to get my butt up out of bed. And it's usually once a week that I just struggle with getting up. And I don't know what it is. But I'm working on that, right? I'm working to make that better. And creating that discipline. Today I really didn't want to work out. I really wasn't feeling it while I was in my workout. And I don't know why, but I think partially because I'm missing my workout buddy this week, but that's okay. You know, I have to push through that, but it's not motivation that gets me to go downstairs. It's the fact that I've created discipline from showing up for so long. And that's something that takes time too. You have to keep showing up for yourself. And it's not something that will just happen overnight. But keep working towards it and you will create that discipline to work towards your goals. Okay? That's all I have, Boo. I won't keep you any longer unless you have any questions or thoughts that you would like to add. No? All right, my dear. Well, I'm going to